What's going on, Workforce? Brian here with my coffee, and we're going to do a little talking about some video games. Video games, if you will. So I got a couple news pieces for you. I'm feeling a little silly, it's been a busy week. BDO, if you guys haven't played that on Steam, it is free till March 2nd, so you have a couple days, go download it, and I think you actually have to log in, you have to create an account for that to apply for PC. So go check that out, let me know what you guys think. If I get the time to play it, I plan on doing it. I just wanted to make sure I claimed it, and it works in GeForce Now, which is exciting. So I'm hopefully going to spend some time with the game here, maybe in a couple weeks, see what it's all about. People have been telling me to try it out, and also people have been warning me about it, like the whole buy to win kind of concept. So all in all, like I've touched it a little bit in betas for Xbox, but I've never really had it on PC. So here we are. Anyway, it's a free game. Go check it out, and just be careful if it is a buy to win game. So I want to get ahead of that. Also, Diablo 4's got controller support coming to PC. So they announced this in a quarterly update. If you guys would like to see us cover that like in more detail, especially with a quarterly update, it is a big post, a lot of information. So just let us know in the comments below if you'd like to see us sharing that information. I know Activision Blizzard has a long way to go to make up kind of for the trust they lost in 2019. And sometimes it doesn't feel like they're actually helping themselves out in any form or fashion. But at the end of the day, like, we're here about games, and that's what we want to talk about. And so, yeah, if you guys are interested in hearing it, let me know in the comments below, and then we'll go from there. So those are the news posts. The bulk of the video, I want to talk a little bit about Astrologian. I just have the guide rolling out tomorrow. Hope you guys are looking forward to that. I'm really excited to share it. It's been a lot of work because, why I feel about Astrologian the way I feel. And let me just sip my coffee. 1 second. I'm not planning on doing too much edits with this video, so grab your coffee and join me if you will. Also, I want to spend a little time talking about Blue Protocol, by the way. This is kind of just a little bit of a gaming vlog. Here we are kind of concluding February, going into the weekend, and yeah, I'm just feeling really happy, feeling really complete. My goals so far for 2020 have been to play more games, and I've been able to do that. And a lot of people keep asking, like, hey, how do you play so many games? I've answered them in kind of direct ways with the concept of what I use as kind of like an intense focus gaming. I live and die by my schedule, and so if you look at a calendar, like I literally budget and schedule in play games in that regards, and I get to do that Sunday and Monday nights. That's kind of the block time that I have for that. Occasionally during the week, get to play some more games, which is very nice because I like to obviously play games, and I have to, like, if I'm playing with my wife or if I'm playing with my kids, I have to turn that kind of mindset off. So I have a kind of a very driven focus because it's like of the limited window that I get the opportunity to play. So it does, somewhat pervert the kind of what the game should be in that way. I do have fun, but I end up going into like any kind of game session with a goal, and I try to accomplish that goal, and that's how that ends up working. It feels kind of silly. It feels so structured, but it works for me, and I have fun with it, which is why I continue to do it. But I can see how, like, from the outside, like, it might probably sound horrible. So hit that like button if that sounds just the worst. So anyway, like, I just wanted to kind of jump at that because people have been asking me that. I've also been getting a lot of questions regarding how do you start a YouTube channel, and I've gone and done a lot of one-on-one sessions with people. I'm thinking about just actually putting that together as a guide, kind of diving into the Ginger Prime numbers, because that's, I think, the best way to look at it, from just going from nothing to something. Obviously, they're a little bit distorted because we do have the Work to Game community, which was able to give that a nice little boost, which is all a part of this algorithmic YouTube world that we exist in this regards. And if you're watching this on YouTube, well, then you're a part of that world, right? So anyway, all that was a long intro to kind of dive into Astrologian. I guess the best place, if you've never seen or never heard my experience with the job before, like, I actually mained it in Stormblood. Like, that was my main healer. I kind of consider maining like I main a role. Like, here's my main tank, here's my main DPS, which is going to be a caster, and here's my main healer, which is going to be a caster. I love casters. Tanks also, for some reason, have a great love and respect. Melee DPS, not so much. And it's nothing against the jobs. It's just, if you like coffee with cream, then you like, well, this has just black coffee. I don't know if you can see it. Just drink coffee black. There you go. Pro tip. Or, like, everybody's got different preferences. And that's, in my mind, I have no ill will towards melee or kind of a ranged DPS like a bard or Machinist. I do actually find that this expansion, I've enjoyed Machinist quite a lot, which was a nice treat if you will, and I've not enjoyed Summoner, which is a real twist, you know. So this expansion has been a nice little kind of paradigm shift with as we go to another dimension on the, you know, within the shards kind of whole process. So anyway, the Astro Legion mained it, came into this expansion, just disgusted by it. I didn't like the changes at the media tour. I was really concerned for it. I was like, okay, well, really, what is it then? However, game design-wise, like the card system with the changes they've made with the colors, like you're either going your tanks, your healers, your ranged, your melee, like it's pretty simple and basic, and you'll see that tomorrow, hopefully in the guide. Hopefully I communicate that real well, because I really think it's a job that you should play, or at least you should try, because over the course of leveling it and at level 80, it does feel complete. Well, the cards, not so much. I think the cards need a little something. I think the fact with especially Lady of Crowns and Lords of Crowns, there's obviously opportunities for them there, but it's like, okay, like it just does feel like we just super simplified it. And obviously the new RNG game is trying to get the 3 seals so you can have the bigger party-wide DPS buff. I love that. I love that utility that the Astro Legion brings, especially when you look at their overall DPS and their heals, you know, like the healing power. They're faster at healing, but it's more costly. Like it feels like from the design itself, like I see it as a complete healer, especially at level 80. Like when you have your full toolkit, it's a fun class, fun job. It's a fun healer to play. Like I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed being able to do the card system. It definitely is a little bit simpler in that regards. And so I'm not necessarily knocking it. Hopefully, if you guys are like using this video to evaluate for random reasons, if you should play Astro Legion, absolutely. Will it be my main healer this expansion? I don't see it performing that well, like overall. It depends on really the content that we decide to get into with the overall game. Like if we were going into a raid, especially for a farm, like not in a progression, definitely I would say Astro Legion would be my progression or my farm healer. Excuse me, my farm healer. Being able to come in, keep people alive, and burst, like get that DPS up. Ooh, baby, like that's where I think it shines. However, like from a progression perspective, you know, like I really enjoy the pure healing power of White Mage. I really enjoy the fairy and the pet system of the the scholar. And if you guys want, let me know if you'd like to see me do kind of a versus, you know, video comparing all 3 healers together and kind of breaking down the differences and my thoughts on that. Because overall, like healing does feel like it's the thing in demand now. It does feel the changes they've made overall to healing is, I don't know. It just I was always hopeful that as the content's gotten harder, but then as you learn it, the requirement for healing goes down, and thus you have a very limited toolkit when it comes to damage, where before it felt like you had more to do. And I don't know the right answer to that. I can't sit here and tell you the answer is just to bring back all the damage abilities, because I think you have to pair, if they did that, bringing it back or bringing in the PvP combo system or something, right? The strength and the weakness of the game is the controller. And I'm sitting here and I look at it and I go, okay, if you're going to sit here and say it has to also run on a controller, there's limits that have to then therefore be implied in that regards from a design perspective. So long story short, bringing back more of the skills. I would love to see some of the ground stuff. I'd love to see more dots. I'd love to see more things to do. That's just me. I'm not saying that, and I'm never going to argue that Final Fantasy has to cater to Brian, nor would I want it to. Anyway, okay. Well, if you guys have any questions and my guide doesn't cover it, and you guys want more thoughts on Astro Legion, it feels good, especially at 80. Like again, I love having a couple of the charges, to be able to pop off a lot of instant heals. I love, being able to have the buffs of the shield and the healing. I like to have that flexibility going into a fight, especially when being match made. There is a real strength with Astro Legion when being match made. Oh, paired with a scholar. Oh, paired with a healer. White mage. Let me just flip the switch, and then there you're good to go in that regards. And then it just feels like a complete kit. Like from a healing perspective, from a damage perspective, I just feel a little bit, I'm there to help everybody else increase their damage, and that's perfectly fine. And that's a lot of fun in ways. Like it does feel good to sit here and say, Yes, I got you. So, those are some thoughts on Astrologian. Let's talk about Blue Protocol. So yesterday they did the third development dev update, which was great. And oh my gosh, they showed off a dungeon. They showed off their arena PvP, party versus party, not player versus player. And they have a really cool system for matchmaking. And what it does is it looks at, because they in Blue Protocol, if you're not aware, you level up your weapon. You also level up like your skills. You have skill trees. You have all of these options. You have a lot of player agency and choice, at least on the surface, as somebody who's watching the development of this MMORPG. And then you have a battle rank. And this battle rank comes into play where it looks at your weapon, your level, your gear, your skills, and it assigns you a level that's scoring all of this. And I think that is where, when we look at Blue Mage, you know, where like I even talk with people, I was like, if they were going to allow it into matchmaking, they need to have some way of scoring the skills that they have equipped as a way. And that would require them to change the duty finder in such form and fashion, meaning a lot of work, a ton of it, you know, and it's just really unfortunate in that regards. So anyway, all that being said, I think it's fascinating. I think they have this whole battle point system, because now you can do matchmaking. Now you can do these things with player agency. And that's one of the things that when you look at the last 10 years, it feels like it's going less and less and less. And then you have people reporting, like Bellier, talking about how Shadowlands is going back to more player agency. And hopefully we can find and strike that balance. You know, Chemistrol sent me a video the other day talking about like how meta is really kind of hurting the love or the worshipness of the metas, where it's like hurting the MMORPG. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I'm going to dive more into that. I hadn't got to finish the video yet, but I was just like, feels about right. So at least, I don't know if mathematically it is, but it feels like that, right? So perception versus the like data in that regards. Yeah, coffee. Anyway, so Blue Protocol is definitely something fascinating that you guys keep your eyes out for. I plan on putting together like kind of everything you need to know about Blue Protocol. I've been following the game for a little while now. I've been checking all the dev updates. Got posts over on Ginger Prime. If you haven't seen those posts, we've also got the clips of the play over on Work to Play. So like obviously you kind of see us kind of branching out with a couple different things, and that kind of brings me to my final kind of main piece of this is the game goals. Like, what am I working on, and and how's it going? So I'm working on Gunbreaker. I think I'm level 64. I almost said 74, which would have been a lie. 64, and I love it. Like, Gunbreaker feels great, and it already feels great, and it's going to be interesting to see how it compares to that of the Paladin and the Dark Knight. Paladin right now takes it over. Like, the more I kept playing, the more I really enjoy Paladin. I think I might have to do an updated controller guide on it, because I do feel like I want to make some more changes to it. So I'll try to keep you guys up to date as that progresses, and we go from there. But Gunbreaker feels good too. And so I have to get it to, into the 70s, and then have to get it to 80. And I did an intro for that, and I kind of prepped an intro for Dancer, but we put out a poll and you guys didn't want to see kind of an intro to Dancer at level 60. So I was like, all right, I'm here only to serve in this regards. So I'm working on that. I'm going to keep making progress with Gunbreaker and keep making sure I hit my little bit of weeklies, so that by the time 5.3 rolls around, I'll be ready for both the story, but as also the raid, which will be exciting to see where the raid story goes with Nier. So that's Gunbreaker. Now I also picked up Division 2 for $3, and that was a heck of a deal. So I've been playing with my friends a little bit. I can play in GeForce Now. So I picked it on Xbox. I picked it up on Steam in this case, but it's GeForce Now, which is really nice. Or I think it's the Epic Games Store. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I picked it up, and it's fun, but it's not anything you're going to see me cover here on the channel. It's very graphic, just like Division 1. And so I'll probably, if I do cover it, it'll probably be over on Ginger Prime if you're curious. I really just like, they polish the game so much. They have big updates coming for it. No word on cross save at a minimum, which is a real disadvantage for the game. If they bring in cross save, and I can just pick up and play on Xbox, pick up and play on PC, pick up and play on Stadia, pick up and play, like that's where I think I'm going to get the benefit of the game. But until they do something with it, I'm just going to hold off and wait in the long run. I plan to get into some Wilson. I plan to get into some get further into, what game was that? Divinity Origin Sin 2. kind of dabbled with that. I tell you, like for me, and I know I'm not sitting here telling you have to believe it or you have to be excited about it, but the cloud gaming has really benefited me. I plan on finishing Temtem from the early access. Chris, like, he jumped ahead of me, but I'm on the third island. I'll hopefully get that knocked down as well. I've been playing that with Maddie, and it's really it's quite an easy game to kind of pick up and play and kind of put down as needed. Man, like there's so many really great games, and that was essentially the whole point of this video, is just talking about how much really exciting things are coming and that I'm enjoying. And I appreciate everybody being on the ride with us. We just did our podcast with Hunter. We had a podcast scheduled, but we had to, we had it scheduled for later, but we had obviously some things that came up and had to rearrange the schedule a little bit. So all in all, like, it's just, I think, going to be a really good year. I'm really looking forward to seeing what else happens. And yeah, I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the workforce. Thanks for hanging out for the length of this video. Oh my gosh, it's been a little bit. So I talked a little bit longer than I was expecting. Yeah, still waiting for PSO2 news. I'm going to end it with that. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Take care.
$100 billion.
Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that if you're new here, you hit that subscribe button, you come back for more. I hope you hit that like button, that share button, that alpha button, that omega button. If you haven't seen that omega button on YouTube, I'd be very careful about pressing it. Only do it under dire circumstances, but you won't regret it.